knock him in at the other. We'll see. And this Mayoral, who is the youngster, just itching, twitching like a young greyhound in the trap, saying, "Put me in, boss." And the boss says, "All right, you got it, kid. This is your moment to shine."
Wow. And it's going to be
18-year-old
Benzema who will be exiting.
Must have taken a knock somewhere. 18-year-old Borja Mayoral. This is the one that they say is going to be the next big bright thing for Real Madrid. Good luck to him. Wonderful opportunity. Good looking lad.
Will it be the Marcus Rashford of the weekend? He's had his debut in the past, but the one at center stage in the derby against Atletico.
Well, the stage is set. The spotlight is yours, young Borja.
And Kroos dropping back. Something we talked about off camera a few times. This three-man midfield without an enforcer. And it's not just Real Madrid, but it seems as though the hard man a la Makalele, or even the pivot, like perhaps a Busquets or a Xabi Alonso, maybe a thing of the past. They share that role, but it's raised a few questions about Real Madrid. Here, nothing questionable about that ball from Kroos. Finding Carvajal in for James. Back for Dani. High in the air. Isco there, but he can't find the target. Borja seemed to find an opening. Here's Danilo. Deflected. Godin in perfect position.
And Felipe Luis on one side of Cristiano, Godin on the other. He'll be leading the central attacking position right now. Cristiano will have the responsibility for covering for Benzema. We didn't see too much of a heavy challenge on Karim, but obviously I would imagine there must have been some sort of muscle pull or twinge. Just sure that it would have been exercised for tactical reasons anyway. Benzema was playing pretty well.
Long burst of speed from Borja. Second match he's played for Real at this level. Came in at the end of October in the final minutes of a big win over Las Palmas. But today, stepping in with a game to win. And a rather prolific scorer down on Real Madrid's B team. Goal every other game.
It's got it!
And he misses the target!
This is a hard angle for him to hit, though, Phil. It's a beautiful ball to fade him and watch his quick release. His well-oiled trigger. Man, that's so close. Beautiful ball played in from Modric. He knows where the goalposts are. He knows the goalposts ain't moving, and he shaves it. So close. That would have been an absolute magisterial hit by his standards, but he had very little to shoot at. That wasn't an easy chance, people.
And as you saw, if it was on target, it looked like Oblak's hand would have blocked it.
Yep.
Down the other way. Torres, Saúl,
challenge.
Griezmann stripped by Modric. Still in play, hoping it would flip out Isco. Knocked back Griezmann, settled Koke. Back towards Griezmann, and plucking it away as Danilo.
Again.
Defensive stop of the half.
Andres Cordero was speaking of this man in glowing terms at half-time, as I was during the first half. Danilo again. He rescues the first goal of the game away from Atletico de Madrid with a beautiful intervention there. Wonderful play. Look out.
Bursting forward, James. Borja on his inside, far side, Ronaldo if he can find him. But what a defense from Jimenez. Can barely breathe. And almost dribbles it into touch, but does turn it over.
Wonderful spacing by the Uruguayan right on top of the Colombian, giving him nowhere to go. He actually had wrapped his shadow up as well. Wonderful defending on James. Tremendous from Jose Jimenez there. The spacing, not diving in, not allowing the Colombian to feel him and turn him.
Good comeback by Danilo. Now a trip. This is the third match Danilo has played at left back. Back at the end of November, early December, started back-to-back matches against Eibar and Getafe, and obviously did well enough before Zidane had really stepped into the mix, and electing to go with him here today. Augusto bumped by Carvajal.
Well, he's calling these both ways as well throughout this game. These types of challenge. Here's another great look at this one. Heading away from All Black. Oh man, Phil, I'm not so sure that if he gets that one on target, it may have beaten Jan, but she sees it come and go. It's very, very close. The release of his shot was impressive. If he takes an extra touch, it's probably going to be suffocated by Atletico's defenders. He trusts that right foot, and it was just a few pixels away. Poor
Simeone starting to sense a little blood in the water.
Yep, they've got a great bench to go to as this Real Madrid team tires as well, in the shape of Correa and Oliver Torres and Vieto. Dangerous players waiting and lurking on the subs bench for the mattress makers.
Ronaldo hurdling the challenges in for Isco, poking it free. Jimenez again, and now Godin to clear the deck. Torres with a bump and enough as Modric down on a foul. We were talking about this during the half. You talk about the little mighty mites on the bench for Atletico. Jackson Martinez was brought in to be the big man. Hadn't worked out that way, partly perhaps due to Torres in training, partly due to perhaps a lot of money from China. But it looks like Torres is going to have to carry the load, at least for the rest of this season up front. 299 games, 100 goals for Atletico. A little lazy on the pass. Fortunate for Saul, poked free by Kroos. Atletico ball.
Saying it's lazy on the pass, I disagree. I think it's quick, slick passing by his men, questioning each other in tight situations and getting it done. Play their way out of it with real precision.
Nice spin, Griezmann. 3v3 if they hurry.
He'll go solo.
Sliding in Koke.
Nice
passes on the overlap. Felipe Luis. Griezmann! Bullseye!
Wonderful goal! Again, Griezmann gets his arrow out and slingshots it home. No accidental goal again. Nothing capricious about it. This is a French hypodermic needle, and it's filled with goals. Griezmann is involved beautifully. Look at the consideration of these passes put together by Los Colchoneros, and applaud, because it's scintillating football. Griezmann sees his targets running right and left. He could have went for the reverse pass to Torres. He goes to Felipe Luis for the give, go and goal. Wonderful again from the attacking fullback. Brazilian Felipe Luis makes the right decision not to hit the target himself, but to pull it back. And there's a wonderful celebration by Antoine, 5'9", 5'9" of golden ingot with that wonderful goal. I think on the replay as well, Phil, we could take it back a couple of other passes, because it wasn't just where Griezmann picks the ball up. There was two wonderful passes from Atletico ahead of that.
13th goal of the season for Griezmann. His first against a top team, and snapping a drought of 323 Atletico minutes without one. That might be enough, Ray. The best defense in La Liga. 1-0. Well, can they walk away with 3 points again from the Santiago Bernabeu?
36 minutes is an awfully long time in this cauldron, but Real Madrid got to call on all of the bugles now. They need to step it up a big couple of gears against, as you said, the anvil, this defensive rock it is Atletico, but Real Madrid certainly got the players to open them up, but they'll need their crowd on them as well. Let's pay recognition to this crowd. They need to get behind the whites.
Nice turn by James, gets it back, but Godin, stellar defense, touches it off the Colombian, and now a few whistles from the crowd. Atletico went 14 years without a victory against Real Madrid until the Copa del Rey final.
And look at this
at the
again.
Bernabeu.
Beautiful. You cannot give him this much space. It's like showing your neck to Dracula. A wonderful finish. A truly world-class finish. He doesn't hammer it. Kehler extends his fingernails and tries to get to it. But there's Coquet as well, was involved in the goal at the earliest. They were just picked apart. Kehler nearly saved the bacon again.
Since Atletico came into the Bernabeu and walked away with the Copa del Rey in 2013, they are unbeaten in league against Real Madrid. 3-2-0. Only one game has Real Madrid been able to score more than a goal in those 5. Driven in, Godin, a rather awkward clearance, and out it goes for a corner kick. Superbikes on Phillip Island in Australia. Don't forget, catch it tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific.
Lucas Vazquez waiting to get in as well. Another change coming for Real Madrid.
This one high in the air from Kroos. Bodies falling left and right. Kroos says play on. Augusto blasting it down to the Real end. Now, who will Vazquez come in for? Varane seems to be rattled and grabbing his head. His neck.
Yep. Goes down and there's a collision here as he slides into the Atletico players.
And takes out Ronaldo in the process. Is it James out? It is. And Lucas checking in. Lucas can give a little bit more cover, maybe allowing Carvajal to overlap as well.
Oh, they'll not be looking for the cover as much as looking towards Lucas and getting involved in a much more direct way than James was able to. They're chasing this game now, Phil, and they will start to leave themselves a little bit open at the back in pursuit of this equaliser.
Lucas, another homegrown product, just like Borja. Both of them joining Real Madrid in 2007.
Atletico Madrid with even arguably more dynamic players. This player, for me, has been wonderful when he's got into games, Lucas Vazquez, and he's been really a wonderful, impactful player off of the bench. Very direct, wonderful skill, can pick out a pass. He is certainly one to keep your eye on in this game to level it up and provide the silver bullet for Cristiano.
But Ray, he's
no Benzema and no Gareth Bale. They don't fit into that category.
Oh, off the throw in, Atleti seeing if they can sneak a second, which would be almost a certain win. Of course, it is Real Madrid. They can score a lot, but 4 goals against Athletic, 6 against Espanyol in their last 2 home matches. Atletico, a horse of a different color, though. Man's trying to will this side on.
They need them.
Scored 1 goal as Vazquez, that coming against Sociedad back in December.
Good ball.
Danilo. Felipe Luis in good position.
A great ball from Danilo.
Varane again a bit off on his clearance, deflected and won back by Atleti.
This is a game, Phil, now. Zidane needs his big players to really step up and shine down a goal, and against the best team defensively is an obvious statement, but they need a real shine. And what a lovely run.
And sending it wide now. Saul, it will bite, but a weak cross in, no problem for Navas. Beautiful touch from Griezmann, probably could have led to more. So Lucas and Borja in. They still have Kovacic and Jesse on the bench if they need more offense. And a half hour to go. Benzema pulled at the half. Oh, obvious signs of injury. Maybe a coach's decision. We'll find out more from Zidane on the postgame.
Doubt that very much.
Haven't seen much from James. He's substituted. Have we seen enough from Cristiano? That one shot that Oblak was able to parry away.
Yep. Again, it's midfield, which has been questioned. The shape of Isco and Modric, Toni Kroos hasn't been exactly providing much of a set of silver bullets for Real Madrid's forward line to attack. Give full credit to Atletico, where they marshal their defence in front of that super solid back line. Then you've got to get past Oblak.
The captain driving it through the wind.
What ball?
Lucas thought that Carvajal would be there.
It's drifting away from Lucas. Not the best of balls in from him. Seemed to deviate on its path towards Lucas, to be fair. But Lucas, as you said, Phil, expecting Carvajal to be tucking up. They have to start rolling the dice a little bit more.
Ray talked about the drought which broke 320 minutes.
They're overloading
Atletico.
That right side now, it seems, Real Madrid.
That one shot by Cristiano Ronaldo denied by Oblak, the only shot that Atletico Madrid have allowed on target in nearly 300 minutes. Down the line, smart touch by Griezmann, but Kroos was able to keep it in play. Poor touch in the midfield leads to Koke, who's tumbled down Vasquez with the push from behind, and now he will go in the book.
Again, it's Isco that coughs it up in a dangerous area against this team, who are so quick, ordering on electric, putting their simple passes together that leads to complete danger. Koke reveling in this battleground now.
Ray, looking at La Liga in general, Atletico have already lost the season series against Barcelona, so pretty much a magic point for Barca with an 8-point lead, now practically 9. Lifted in by Gabi, headed across towards Torres, cleared away by Danilo.
Well played.
Ronaldo cuts to the inside, but good cover by Atleti and Griezmann defensively. Ronaldo trying to lift it to another gear. Too many of the Madridistas apparently stuck in neutral. Kroos for Carvajal. Real Madrid, for all of their woes, still has the Clásico left and a chance to win that tiebreaker against Barca. If they can come back from behind, they could draw within 6, and Barca with a difficult tie against Sevilla coming up. All out for Fernando Torres. Varane gets there and snuffs out the chance. Don't forget, tomorrow 8:30, Multicalcio with Serie A. All the action focused in right here on beIN Sports. With that big switch. Vasquez showing, Carvajal launching.
Continualness from Real Madrid. They're playing good, quick, slick football, changing the point of their attack from the left to the right at will. But the way this Atletico Madrid defence is drawn up, he's not seeing any threat towards Oblak, either from distance, from width, or through the centre. Coming up against, as I called him, an anvil, and they are just coming up with duds time and time again. Not as much to do with the manner of which Real Madrid are putting their game together, but the way this team is defending them has been just impervious. It's very impressive. Again,
Bursting through Ronaldo, but Borja got in the way.
Yeah, in numbers as well, Phil. Nothing.
Danilo, the ball pops up. Kroos passes on the shot as Gabi stepped up. Carvajal swings it over. Danilo, and he hit it the wrong way. Ball out towards Torres. 1v3. Eludes the first, brought down by the second. And Ramos's foul gives him a chance. It looks like it could be a yellow card here, although close. Explaining. Just take it over.
Well, he wanted to take it over. He wanted to take it quickly, but Real Madrid player standing over the ball like this.
Should be a yellow.
Yeah.
And they hold on. Less than a half hour in regulation. And Real Madrid winless in their last 5. That's the longest drought they have ever had against Atletico in history. And it could be 6. Juan Fran, sneaky good. Saul back to Torres. Settled down Juan Fran. It's Saul inside off a beautiful ball from Griezmann, still in the box. Across from Juan Fran, Danilo will clear. Felipe Luis trying to lift it back. Real Madrid 6s and 7s inside their own 18. Nodded back Saul, but too far. And the whistle starting to build in intensity. Maybe here on the break. Kroos, but behind Ronaldo. Burst of speed. Vasquez, but even quicker to the mark was Jimenez.
Tremendous covering from this insurance policy from Uruguay, Jose Jimenez. Good counter-attack from the Royal Whites, putting it together beautifully. Earlier, Juan Fran on that opportunity for the Red and Whites, absolutely wonderful. And Griezmann very close. Look out!
A little gap in the middle. Borja drives, takes the shot, deflected wide for the corner. Oh, they're going to say it went through clean. Take another look.
Yes, the earlier lovely layup from Juan Fran for Griezmann, and then very close from Saul Niguez. Again, he started this way earlier. Atletico man comes out again, spreads himself beautifully and denies. Another goal-saving challenge from Kayla.
Saul and Torres. Neither can win it. Real gets it back midway through the second half. First goal after a 5-game drought for Griezmann, but will it be enough? Carvajal. Off for Borja. Inside, and a header from Ronaldo right down Main Street. Oblak, no problem.
Fabulous ball played in out wide, of course, from Danny. He sees the dark invader learning. He's open. This is a free header. He rises, hovers like a kestrel, and then punches it down beautifully, but no angle on it. And Oblak positioned right in the middle of goal, no problem.
Carvajal to the inside. Questions have been raised this year about the significant goal absence from Cristiano Ronaldo. He's still up there, 22 goals, but those are the ones he used to score with ease, it seemed. Will he get another chance?
Ball, and again, it's a tremendous dynamic. He does everything right here. Wonderful power, but not the placement. He's got a split second to make up his mind, and in the end, comes up with nothing. A beautiful ball played into him, though, wasn't it? On the run from Dani Carvajal. Immaculate service.
A tumble and a whistle. Free kick. Juan Fran on the receiving end. Isco might want to start growing that beard back again. Of note, last 8 in all competitions for Atletico, just 2-4-2.
I see it.
But the 4 draws were all scoreless draws, so you kind of sense if they were able to find a goal over that span, it would have been even more impressive. 20 minutes remain. Esse will come in, Isco will exit. And all of the jokers are on the table for Zidane.
Danger in this young man. Wonderfully balanced, high-octane footballer, Esse, has came in and been impactful for Real Madrid in the last few games.
Launched in Koke. Godin, a little slip. He'll try and reach it, but can't. Esse, maybe a chance here. Out wide for Vasquez. Trying the back heel Ronaldo, but parried away. Quickly down the line. Vasquez eludes, delivers, and just in the way was Juan Fran, or Esse was ready to unload. Keeps it alive, blasted, and Mayoral sees Oblak slap it away.
The ball just can't get enough of a sweet spot on this strike to worry Oblak. The challenge goes in against Griezmann and will be called. Great opportunity for, it looked as if it was going to be Esse, but then it falls to Borja Mayoral, who just doesn't connect with it, Phil, in the end. Bundled off the ball. Certain foul. Here it is. It gets knocked onto him, and you can see just doesn't get enough of a crackerjack on it right here. Whiffs on it. Wonderful play by Esse the first time, and then on the follow-up tries to set up his young teammate. A little bit of helter-skelter chaos there in the Atletico defence for the first time in a long time.
Another collision. This one will lead to a booking. Jimenez trying to get out of sight, but can't.
Charrua.
Ray, there's another one brought over alongside Emi Velasquez from Uruguay. Velasquez has been loaned out at Getafe for the last couple. They found a rich mine of defenders, and they continue to try and pluck them away.
€1 million. Jose Jimenez cost them €1 million. Nada.
Mayoral into the 6 and down quickly Oblak. Mayoral starting to get more involved. Mentioned 2007, the year Mayoral and Vasquez both joined. Esse also joined in 2007, hot off the heels of Zidane's Real Madrid career. Everyone wanted to be a Madridista. Pitched away. Esse looking for an extra gear. Juan Fran, though, has some help. Jimenez again.
$1 million man comes to the rescue yet again. Called him Uruguayan insurance policy. He is having a stormer alongside Godin.
Out of Danubio, one of the pipelines of talent in Uruguay. Touched inside. They lay it off. Kroos can't contain it, and it's Jimenez again.
A wonderful run by Tony. Thinking, what if this one bobbles in front? And it does, and that's a sweaty proposition for the boss.
Still 1-0. The goal in the 53rd minute. Time to look to the bench for Simeone. Some fresh legs. Seems Real starting to build a bit here as we approach the final quarter hour. Ross, Danilo again favors the right. Drops it back. Gets it back. Into the corner, Esse. See everyone starting to push forward. If Atletico can get out on the counter, maybe a chance for an easy second. Modric. Wide for Vasquez. Can't get the cross in. Nice defense from Koke. Ronaldo poked free, but Atletico behind the ball. Ramos, and now moves into position on the receiving end. Vasquez gets a second chance. Liverpool against Man City tomorrow. It's the Capital One Cup final, 11 a.m. here on beIN Sports. Essay in for Danilo, tries to get it past Gabi but can't.
Prize for a penalty that is never ever going to be given, but the Madridistas behind that goal doing their damnedest for their team and trying to suck the ball into the net. But this is wonderful covering from across by Gabi on Danilo. Gets his body in front of the ball right here.
What do you think, Ray?
Ball's out of playing distance for Gabi. Well, it was a lot closer than that, but this replay shows he gets the touch on it as well, Gabi. Danilo, excuse me, and then there's a tumble.
Griezmann signaling to the sideline, Ray. This is the third game in 6 days for Atletico, and the legs and brains seem to be tiring just a touch.
Not from Griezmann, from Torres in all likelihood. Let's take a look.
Last words of wisdom. Kranovic are about to step into the midfield. Looks like Gabi may be limping as he tried to keep pace on that last challenge. No, it's Augusto, who was cramping moments ago, who exits. Augusto Fernandez, the last time we saw him was when he was forced to leave injured.
Another good performance by the Argentina man, being a real part of the Lego set that is made of steel for Diego Simeone. Never letting it get a big hug by Herman Burgos. Well,
there's nothing small about Mono.
Yeah, really.
Brought over from Celta Vigo in the winter window. Played well against Sevilla, but that Barcelona match, I'm amazed he was back so quickly as he went down with an injury, but solid here today. Okay, knocked down, but a clean tackle, says the ref. No
ball.
Harm, headed wide. Ronaldo, but just over the charging Borja. Mayoral giving chase again. Forces a poor pass out. Modric for Dani. 12 and change left. Back to the Croatian. Essay, but he can't guide the header. And Saúl back to midfield.
And the tracking back on that trajectory by Juan Fran. Every time, not one player in red and white taking their focus off what gets them to the promised land, which is defence. Real Madrid keep going on. That's a lovely touch pass by Luka. Good ball!
Top of the 18, Modric. Now Griezmann for Torres. Tried to pluck it away with three surrounding and gives it right back. Modric chugging. And Godin. Strong play from the Uruguayan, but he lands awkwardly on that little artificial apron around the playing field. Modric wasn't going to give up without a fight. They let Miranda go to Inter Milan in the offseason. Confident Jimenez would be there. Strong pickup from Savic.
Let's not just pass that one over. Miranda playing absolutely exceptional football in Italy as well, Phil. They weren't getting rid of a dud, but they knew what they had to come in and compensate for wonderful Miranda.
Again, Savic unavailable today, but vital. Ronaldo. The footwork looked good. The passing, not so much. He's saying there was a deflection. The referees disagree. Now to the 80th minute. And again, if Real can find 2 goals, Barca might just have a challenge down the stretch. Both of these teams perhaps understandably even focus more on European glory at the moment. Atletico scoreless in Holland against PSV. Well, Real went to Rome and came away with a strong 2-0 win.
Oh, he's in.
Almost, but
brilliant
Ramos
from
plucks it out
Sergio
of midair.
Ramos. He's got to be perfect here. And he gets it right bullseye to take it away from Griezmann.
Hesse drives in on Kranevither, out wide for Carvajal. Real around that 18-yard box. In for Hesse. One touch to the middle. Banged off Gabi. Kranevither tries to clear, but Modric deflects. Unfortunately for him, out of play. And another look to the sideline. More reinforcements for Atleti. Ronaldo with 5 shots on the game. Borja coming off the bench with 2. No one else with more than 1. Slow walk to the sideline for Fernando Torres. And some fresh legs up front.
80 minutes that the Colchoneros lady applauds. And Mano also.
Correa checking in. The star is not just below his ear, also twinkling above his head.
Danger player again. Another one plucked away from Argentina. An international footballer from San Lorenzo. A cracker of a player.
Some might have said a crocked player a couple of years ago, but nicely. Simeone kept faith. Upended Ramos on a foray. Correa tries to keep it alive. Trickles across, and it will go Atleti's way. What I'm talking about with the Correa situation is, unlike Vieto, who Simeone brought up with Racing, they kept an eye on Correa when he was at San Lorenzo, liked him so much, they signed him, went through the pre-contract physical where they found a hole in his heart. But rather than just say, that's it, and move on, they said, get healthy, we'll bring you in. Played so well that when he did get healthy, other teams were coming in, but he showed the same faith back to Atletico that they had showed to him, and now on the pitch here today. Saul with a nice little touch for Griezmann. 8 minutes remain.
Saul, of course, an ex-Real Madrid youngster himself.
Nice from Saul. Snuck through, but Navas was awake. Carvajal looking for an extra gear. Ronaldo, after Felipe Luis slips, sneaks it forward, but Carvajal can't get there. Godin. Ronaldo wins it back, drives to the 18, and Godin just chops it down. Off of the Portuguese attacker and out for an Atleti throw.
Well, sensing that Real Madrid might have 1 goal in them, they have 2, because that's what's really required as they continue their pursuit. They get out of here without any points. It's going to be an almighty blow to their hopes. It's still time on the clock in this place. They will keep coming and gambling. But they are missing some big horses up front, Phil.
Modric in for Vasquez. Good control, but Godin again pounces. And Real Madrid up next.
Better expect and hope that the injury, perhaps to Benzema, isn't too much of a threat, because they're going to need him. They don't have anybody else in that position.
Deflected cross. Ronaldo again over Godin, but Oblak was ready.
And a very difficult ball for him to get any sort of power. It takes a deflection and it's dropping like a snowball out of a snowy sky. Very difficult, but he rises magnificently, but not enough punch or angle on the ball.
Real at Levante in their next league match midweek. Then they'll host Celta before their return leg against Roma. Meanwhile, for Atleti, welcoming La Real, traveling to Valencia. They have 1 more match against Depor before they welcome PSV to the Calderon. Kind of strange. Atleti will get the win and the bragging rights, but the big winner today might be Barcelona, especially if they can come away with a victory against Sevilla tomorrow, pulling away in the La Liga race. In fact, you could say almost anything but a Real Madrid win would have put that in the book.
So very impressively. It's a great challenge. Applaudable in its failure. That's the type of game it's been for Real Madrid today. And taking nothing away from this impressive, super defensive Atletico.
Nice run from Correa, cuts to the inside, in for Koke, who can't control. Danilo, who's quietly had a pretty good game at this left back. Stripped away from Kroos. Griezmann, but high. Almost had the angle. Zidane trying to will his team forward. Ray, taking a look at this Real Madrid side. They had Ancelotti and were struggling in some of these big matches. They went to Rafa Benitez and the struggle was still there. Now they go to Zidane and they still can't find the big game goals. Maybe it's not the coaches. Hangs in the air. Godin challenges, knocks down Ronaldo.
It's out.
Back towards Varane. And it's cleared by Atletico. Carvajal sending it through. An easy grab for Oblak. If they go through this season without a title, Ray, you wonder what the after effects of that might be. Will there be wholesale changes?
Phil, you've got to remember there's a FIFA ban that's coming on very, very strongly. And it's going to be a huge challenge for Zidane to cope with that itself. This club, this one stays like this and it plays out the way you're indicating. There are problems further down the road for Zizou and Real Madrid. The lack of cover for a Benzema. They're going to have to splash big cash all around on this field. Pepe not getting much younger. They've got a great cover man in Varane. They're going to need to hold on to all of these players and enhance the team in a very, very small transfer window in all likelihood.
Poke free. Out wide, Felipe Luis trying to track it down. 13 shots, 3 on goal. All That's 3 by Ronaldo, no one else.
Lovely running off of the ball again.
Yes, in for Correa, upended by Danilo fairly as the Brazilian upends the Argentine. Esse off to Danilo on his left foot. Not bad, but not good enough.
Fabulous play from Danilo, leaving his wing-back spot in his defensive hole and coming out, launching this attack. He uses Hesse to set him up. It's an admirable effort from the Brazilian. It is Jan Oblak all full of worry, and he is getting as nervous as a Greek banker now, seeing his team stretched out on that counter. And here come Real Madrid again.
Looking for an equalizer, but upended in the midfield.
Well played, cross.
Out wide, Hesse will take it. Impactful off the bench. Into the corner double team. Can he try and get a corner? It trickles away for the goal kick. Empoli against Roma coming your way on beIN Sports later today, immediately following this match on beIN Sports. beIN Sports and Espanyol, a double dip from La Liga, Getafe, Celta, and Sporting Espanyol. Hesse shut down by Juanfran this time. "24 shutouts this season, 24 clean sheets from Atletico Madrid, and on the verge of their 25th. Modric, Hesse at the edge of the area. Danilo again with his right. Finds Ramos, who tried to flick it in for Borja, but no. And now it's a foot race, and Varane with an extra gear.
Beautiful ball played in, and just a little too heavy with that final touch to set up Real Madrid for one of the few times as Danilo gets wiped out here.
And Danilo not happy with Correa.
For the first time, Real Madrid players inside of the box in numbers thought it was going to fall fortuitously for them as Correa goes into the ref's book in typical Diego Simeone style. Gavi leading the charge. High challenge by Correa.
Gavi's slapping
probably the best
away.
Player on the park for Real Madrid today. Danilo does nothing wrong, but Correa does everything wrong.
Gavi coming in and slapping the fingers away. A bit fortunate, because if he gets a yellow, he misses the next match. Just 2 minutes of added time remain. 14 shots, just the 3. Ronaldo, 2 headers and the blast on target, and Oblak has denied them all. Meanwhile, 9 shots for Atleti and 5 have been on frame.
It's a card.
Down on that far side is Gavi, and now Ramos in the book, and he will miss Real's next game. Not the way they wanted to go in towards their anniversary. Real Madrid hoping they had the questions answered, the problems solved with Zidane's arrival, but they remain. Jose Maria Aznar, the ex-prime minister, sitting next to Florentino as the fans make their way out. Might be more bitter than the wind today, the Madrid faithful. 6th straight derby without a win. Nice touch, Hesse. Danilo trying to impose himself. Ronaldo into the middle. Skips away from Mayoral and cleared by Felipe Luis. Correa giving chase, but Navas was ready. Hangs in the air, though. Navas still out. Here's Saul. It could be 4v2. Saul, though, takes it towards the corner. Poke free by Danilo. Will it cost them? Nice from Jimenez. Final seconds trickle away on a La Liga season for Real Madrid. Vasquez wide, but a soft pass. Look at all the empty blue in that background. Maybe says more than the scoreboard. Last gasp saloon for Real to even salvage a point. Klose giving them the chance. Carvajal in, Ronaldo back, blasts it into the back of Saul Niguez, and that is going to do it. The goal from Griezmann stands up. 6 straight without defeat over Real for Atletico.
Well, the home supporters started to leave early, and huge disappointment for them in a game that was a wonderful tug of war in the Madrid derby. And saw Real Madrid lose Benzema at half-time. Without Marcelo, they lacked that spark of urgency, and their midfield went missing like the kids in the Blair Witch Project for so much of this game. And against Atletico de Madrid, that defence held up imperviously behind Oblak. It was Navas again who time and time again came to the rescue. And for Atletico de Madrid, it was all about pure quality in defence, and it was right, left and centre. And on the attack, they would be dangerous. Griezmann has got options right, left and centre. He goes to the left with Felipe Luis, who returns the favour. And this is nothing less than a world-class goal. He absolutely finds it beautifully. He's got decisions to make on the run. Nobody attacks the ball. He's trying to cover away Carvajal. He cannot get there. The ball's played back. It's a goal of the highest quality and does real service to Napa for a pura calidad goal from Antoine Griezmann.
10th road win of the year for Atletico Madrid. 13th goal for Griezmann, snapping a more than 300-minute drought. Well, what did we learn today? Struggles for Real Madrid. Atletico still strong. Back to the Express Studios for more on the wrap-up following a 1-0 win for the visitors.